You're going to be submitting to the FDA soon, and in the news, there's been a lot of talk about cutbacks to the FDA. I think maybe up to 25% of the people there going away. So I heard some interesting news this morning. I think it came out maybe a few days earlier, is that the FDA is going to try to use AI to help accelerate the review process. You know, and you're kind of you're going to be right in the middle of that. You're going to be a test case, right?
The guinea pig for this, right?
Perhaps. So what do you think about the use of AI for doing that? Do you think it'll help, or does it create some risks that?
I'm all for giving it a shot. I don't think it's going to replace the human reviewers that we have, but it may do a really good job of analyzing what parts of the data are there, what module is there, manufacturing. Did they have everything in the right place? It'll be useful. Let's wait and see. Now, in terms of the overall getting your PDUFA date set, no one that I've been told, no one has been let go at the FDA that is in that drug review process.
Okay.
Now, some probably have quit, but the fact is, most of these folks that have been resigned or terminated, we're looking at red dye number 5, near as I can tell.
Okay.
That was a joke.
Okay. Right. No, I got it. Well, that's good. I mean, I guess in some ways this will help bring the FDA into the next century. I mean, government agencies are very staid in the way they do things. They don't change very often unless they're forced to. So, this could have kind of bring us more in line with China. And actually, that's another good topic to talk about is China. What do you think about China as a drug market and kind of what they're doing in terms of innovation?
So I think in the biotech field, China is, in many aspects, not caught up, but they're getting close. In other parts of other therapeutic areas, I think they're maybe ahead of other parts of the world. They've invested a lot of money in building out their biotech sector. Now, specifically for Cingulate, the ADHD market in China is about $4 billion.
Okay.
It's projected to be about a $15 billion market by 2030.
And is that more due to, more recognition of ADHD in China, or is it that it's a growing
very good
condition?
Good perspective. The fact is, epidemiology is epidemiology.
Okay.
So you're looking at about anywhere from 4 to 6.5% of the population has ADHD. In China, the United States, Europe, we have better diagnostic criteria.
Okay.
So we're doing a better job of finding out who has ADHD and who can benefit from treatment. And that's happening all around the world.
Okay. Yeah, so it sounds like China might also be a good market as well as a competitor to U.S. biotech.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, I was going to ask about some other things. There was a recent survey from Myriad Genetics that found that over half of Americans would benefit from treatment, but they don't take their medications for this. What solutions are there for that? And obviously, this is giving you a chance for a plug for your products.
Right.
But what do you think of that?
So pretty much every therapeutic area, you see some gaps. Either it's compliance, it's safety, it's tolerability, it's the drug makes me feel better or it doesn't. When you look at ADHD, these are very effective medications, the stimulant class. They're the most safe, the most effective medications. That's why over the last 50 years, every single stimulant has been approved. That's good to know. Now, the problem is they have a very short half-life. That's why you need to take these medications 2 to 3 times a day, depending on which form you have. What we were focusing on doing is just giving a patient one product, giving it the right timing of release, the right ratio of overall dose composition, and then the right release profile. We want to give them a fast onset, entire active day duration, avoid the booster doses, and basically you wake up, you take your medication, you're good to go.
So you're saying just make it simpler and make it more effective.
Make it simple, make it more effective, make it more tolerable.
And you'll address that problem. That makes sense.
Yep.
Let's see what else we have. So why would a patient look at some of these other ADHD medications out there? I've got Strattera, Qelbree, and they're different. They use a different mechanism of action to achieve their goal. And I think they're non-stimulant. Isn't that correct? So what where do these guys fit in terms of the the spectrum of products for ADHD and are they a competitor for you, or might they be somebody you might work with in the future?
So the ADHD market is it's unique. People think of ADHD as a generic marketplace. The fact is, it's not. Branded products have consistently done better. They're used more, and it's not promotion because these are controlled substances. So there's no direct-to-consumer advertising. You're not seeing commercials about this. Branded products work better. they have longer acting, sometimes they're faster onset. Those are important factors. At the end of the day, when you look at the non-stimulants versus the stimulants, and let's just start with the guidelines. So be it the AAP, pediatrics, psychiatry, take your pick. The first line recommendation for the treatment of ADHD is a stimulant, a long-acting stimulant.
Okay.
The second line is a different long-acting stimulant.
Okay.
The third line, maybe a different long-acting stimulant.
These non-stimulants are way down the line.
There's a very good place for them. I mean, Strattera is a good medication, clonidine, guanfacine, Quellbreathe. They're utilized, but they're definitely second, third, fourth line.
And I think
or
also,
if the patient can't tolerate the stimulant, which is another thing we do.
Okay. Well, another thing that I think is an issue with these is they take a little while to start working. Isn't that right?
Most of these drugs they were designed to be antidepressants, and they just didn't work very well there. They have some efficacy in ADHD. If you look at the effect size of stimulants versus the non-stimulants, it's like the salary of the Los Angeles Dodgers versus the Kansas City Royals. Yeah. It's very different. Non-stimulants have a role. They have a place. They're adjunctive, or if a patient cannot tolerate stimulants, they're a good therapy. But stimulants are the gold standard.
Yeah. Right, well, if we can take a look at your competitive advantage here, it's the PTR platform.
Right.
If you could touch on that and basically how the science works behind that, and gives a patient basically full efficacy throughout the day, and why that may or may not be better than Vyvanse or Concerta or any other medication in the marketplace right now.
So when we started Cingulate back in 2013, our goal was to take a delivery technology, license it from somebody, put in our 3 releases of medication, and get to the market in 2015. Well, we didn't do it. And I say that tongue-in-cheek. What we did do instead is we built the first of its kind, first in the world, drug delivery platform called Precision Timed Release. What this technology allows us to do is take 1, 2, 3 of the same or different APIs, active pharmaceutical ingredients, and then precisely time, ratio, and style exactly when the drug is going to be delivered in the body as it goes to the GI tract. This provides us the ability now, based upon pharmacokinetics, based upon absorption, distribution, metabolism, excretion, to provide patients the optimized dosage form of different therapeutic areas. In ADHD, we've done it. Anxiety is next. Maybe insomnia after that. Perhaps bipolar disorder. Well, there's a long pipeline of products that this company can deliver and develop. Right now, we're laser focused on CTX 1301 for ADHD.
What are some of those other products out there that do need multiple doses per day? They have a short half-life, and they are for chronic conditions. What kind of comes up in your mind, as a pharmacist,
right.
that might be appropriate for the technology?
So what's unique here is, as we develop more products with our pipeline, we're not going to be looking at too many more compliance plays. What we'll be doing is more fixed dose combinations. Mm-hmm. So take insomnia, for instance. We don't want to deliver 2 or 3 doses of Ambien. We'll get a lot of people driving through a Dunkin' Donuts at 7 a.m. But what we do want to do is help a patient get to sleep and then help them stay asleep, the middle insomnia problem.
Okay.
That'll take 2 different medications. So that's a different therapy.
Okay, no, that's interesting, right? So, you have the capacity for 3, even potentially 3 different medications there that
or more.
Might be in sequence or something.
3 releases is our max.
Yeah.
But in some of those different layers, we could blend 2 drugs. So there's a lot of applicability.
Well, we have a pill somewhere around here, don't we?
We do, yeah.
Not sure where it is, but it'll come up as we're answering the next question in the last few minutes.
Glad to mention that,
yeah.
The problem is no one's going to be able to see it. But
right. It's very small.
It is really small.
Don't forget to come back, Shane.
A lot of people are worried about the IP in China, especially in the pharmaceutical industry. A lot of ideas are essentially stolen, right, and ripped off, and that's always a concern. People kind of get nervous about licensing their product in China without patent protection, which I've heard can take years in China to get patent approval, and it's a completely different...
I think you have to use a Chinese company, right? So you can't really do it yourself. It's all going to be in Chinese, so that probably makes it a little bit difficult to get a patent recognized. Oh, here we go. Here's our pill. Yep. Let's take a look at that. Can we?
So there it is, my friend.
Okay, I'll hold it up and hold it up in my. Oh gosh. Okay, it's backwards. There it is. It's quite small. I think we have different. Oh, and here are the different layers. It's like the nesting dolls.
Super small.
And this is
That's
probably
the beauty
going to
of it,
fall.
though.
What dosage is that?
So
going to fall
it's a
out
great
here.
question, Rob. Every single dose,
Oh, it did fall out. Oh my gosh.
every single dose is going to be the exact same size.
Okay.
And it makes sense because what we're really doing again is with that erosion barrier layer is making sure the drug is timed and released at the appropriate time. So they're all the same.
That small, so this large one, so this one dissolves first.
I would disagree with that word
no.
large. But
Okay, well,
the largest of the three,
relative to the other two in here, this one dissolves first, and then this one it dissolves next after a certain period of time, and I guess you can adjust that amount of time. And then the one that fell on the floor and that's getting into the electronic equipment down there
That's the
is
third
the
dose.
last one, which
Right.
comes. I mean, how many hours after the first one does that last one start to dissolve?
we can build it really any number of ways. So we could do anything from 0 to about 12 hours.
Okay.
The key is the product has to still be in the body.
Okay.
Right.
It can't be somewhere else. So anywhere from 0 to 12 hours, we can develop it so that we could release it at the appropriate time. For ADHD, this is critical. 0, 3, and 7 hours. Those are the 3 times you need to release the medication. It's impossible to do if you have ADHD. I mean, think about it. Number 2, you can't ratio it the right way. And third, you can't style it the right way. There's no product that's been developed like this. We're really excited about treating patients in the appropriate way to really help them with their days.
Great. Well, Shane, thank you so much for
seeing you.
for joining us today, and good luck with the submission coming up here in a few months.
Thank you.
And we'll hopefully see you back here.